Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for joining me for today's video. In this one, I'm going to be turning a men's shirt into a really cute blouse for spring. I picked this shirt up off of Vinted for around £2. It's a men's large cotton shirt with a really lovely pinstripe running through it. It's a really good quality and good weight cotton, and it's got plenty of fabric for me to play with. I've been feeling really inspired by the designer Ganni recently. You've probably heard of them because they are trending hard. Everybody is recreating their blouses, especially the ones that have the ties down the front. But one I've saved has a Peter Pan collar with a little ruffle around it. So that is what I'm going to be trying to create today out of this shirt. The pattern that I've chosen for this project is this one here. This is N6743 by New Look. It's got a really cute view with a Peter Pan collar with a ruffle around it and ties at the front. I'm going to try to use as many of the original details from the shirt as I possibly can. So if I can, I'll be leaving the button placket on. So I probably won't add all the ties, but I might add a little tie around the neckline and alter the sleeves on the original shirt as well. You could use any pattern like this that you have in your stash. It doesn't have to be this one, but this one had the closest collar to my inspiration that I could find. As long as it's got a collar stand, it should work. It's the school holidays here in the UK. I'm a mum of 3 and my fiance has taken my kids out for a few hours. So I'm going to try and see if I can get this finished before they get back while I've got a quiet house. So hopefully this is going to be a pretty quick and easy project. I'm going to stick the new Beyonce album on, get my head down, and let's see how quickly I can flip this shirt. So first things first, we need to remove the original collar, including the collar stand, because the pattern includes a new one. I was going to unpick this, but I have done some measuring and the circumference of my new collar is actually bigger than the circumference of this one. So I'm going to have to cut it down anyway. So to save time, I'm going to just cut it off and get rid of it. Oh my goodness, the mess in the background. Let's all ignore that for just a second and concentrate on the shirt. So I'm just trying this on for fit and to see what length I want this. I'm generally happy with the fit of this, kind of over the shoulders and everything. I know it's oversized, but that is what I'm aiming for, that really loose, laid back style that Ganni are kind of known for. So I'm going to leave the sleeves and everything as they are, apart from the length of the sleeves, because this is a bit much. A bit annoying. I'm going to dip that in food. I just know I am. Lengthwise, I'm thinking of cutting it around here. I want this cropped, as I mentioned earlier, so I can wear it with jeans and skirts and tuck it into stuff as well. So I think just cutting below here will give me enough for a little hem. I may well just take it an inch under, so I've got a little bit of room to play with just in case. So now I'm happy with the fit and everything. The next step is to cut off this excess length and get the collar cut out. So before I cut this, I'm just double checking that the collar does definitely fit. Obviously I'm going to cut this at the back, not the front, but we've got a little bit of room, so this is just about perfect. The great thing about using a striped shirt is you can actually line up your ruler with the stripes on the shirt to make sure it's all straight. So I managed to get all my pieces cut out of what I had left over from my shirt, apart from the lining of the collar, but I was fully expecting that I wouldn't fit 2 of these pieces out. So I've just used an old bed sheet. It's going to be underneath anyway. And I think the white poking out will look quite nice. Having a quick try on over my dress, so it looks a bit funny to get the vibe. This is really cute. I didn't have enough of the shirt fabric left to do the ruffle, but I do have an alternative idea. 2 seconds. This is literally just resting, so I'm trying not to move too much. That's why my arm is like this. But I do have this really cute white lace trim. Do I add it or do I not? I'm really not sure. I don't know if it just takes it a little bit too far over the edge of like cutesy girly for me, whereas without looks pretty cool. I'm not sure. I do love the extra detail and I like the idea of also adding that trim to the sleeves as well. I'm gonna have a think and come back to it. So I just took a very, very quick break to make a cup of tea. I have decided I'm going to add the lace trim. I just think it makes the collar pop a little bit more. I like the idea of adding it to the cuffs as well. And maybe even if I have enough and it's not too much, around the hem could look really cute. But I'll see how I go. I did take it to an Instagram poll as well to ask other people's opinions, and everyone seems to be voting for the lace. So I'm going to go for it, which is good because that is the first step of adding the collar, is adding the little ruffle. The great thing about this lace as well is it's already pre-gathered, so you don't have to do any of the gathering. So this is going to be super quick to add. So all of the lace is now clipped on to the facing of the collar. I am going to baste it in place before I add the outer shell so this doesn't get caught. I do have a little bit less of this. I haven't got as much of the lace trim left over as I thought I would. I've got enough probably to add to the cuffs and maybe a little bit to add to the pocket or something for a bit of extra detail. I'll see how I go. When you're putting the outer shell onto the facing, just make sure you push down the lace trim so it's out of the way, and be careful as you clip it round that you haven't caught it. Okay, this is looking seriously cute. The next part that I've just done is sew the parts of the collar stand together on the interfaced piece and the uninterfaced piece. So I'm just trimming down this neckline here so I can make it a little bit bigger so the collar stand fits. I need to get an extra 1.5 inches in. I'm literally going to do this by eye and maybe just take it down like this, and that should make it fit. As you can see, I very roughly cut this. I'm not really sure of the best and most technical way to do this, so I'm just guessing. Still doesn't quite fit at the back, so I'm going to take it down a little bit more. Okay, that all now fits nicely to the neckline. I cannot unpick this label on the shirt at the back, so I'm just going to have to ignore that. All fits really nicely. There's enough on the end as well because we need that to hide away all the edges and keep it neat. So I'm going to baste this in place and then attach the collar. So I've just clipped everything in place. I've got my 2 collar stands, my facing one and my main one, and then my collar sandwiched between. You're going to sew along from this corner here all the way along this edge. Just make sure if you do have a ruffle or a piece of lace that you've pinned that out of the way so it doesn't get caught. This is a little bit big for what it should be, so I'm going to have to bring it in a little bit more here and then just trim away the excess. Once that's all sewn together, just trim off any excess seam allowance. Sorry, the kids are back, so there's a fair bit of noise in the background, but I have just attached my collar. I literally just top stitched it on the machine. Ordinarily, I would do it by hand and stitch in the ditch and make it really neat because it doesn't look the neatest on the inside, I must admit. But because I'm a bit pressed for time today, I've just top stitched it for now, and then when I've got some time at a later date, I'll go back in and neaten that all up. But it's fine for now. We have a very, very cute collar here. I cannot wait to try this on. So now I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with these ginormous sleeves. So the reason this shirt was so cheap, if you can see on all the cuffs, it's got like, it looks like coffee marks. I've washed it a couple of times and these still won't come out. So I think what I'm going to do is cut the cuffs off and remove them, which will give me a little bit more volume around the sleeves where this has all been pleated. And then I'll just do an elasticated channel, create a bit of a puff sleeve effect, and then add this round the edge for a bit of extra detail. Is there anything more annoying in the world than having to change your overlocker thread? Honestly, I hate doing it so much that I would quite happily just have done these hems in black. But for the sake of this top and making it look neat, I am going to not be lazy and cut corners and change the thread on my overlocker. I always try the little trick where you tie the previous thread to the new thread, and that normally works, but you have to be so careful pulling it through because sometimes the little knots come undone, and there is nothing worse because then you have to rethread the whole thing. And as much as I love this overlocker, it's my ride or die, and I will always recommend this to anybody. It is a pain in the bum to rethread. You know what I'm gonna say, don't you? One of those knots has come undone. I spoke too soon and now I'm going to have to rethread it. I'll see you in about 4 hours. That didn't actually take as long as I thought it was going to, so I can stop being dramatic now. I'm going to have to leave this here for today, unfortunately. I really thought I was going to have this finished, but I am not the speedy sewer that I used to be. I really enjoy slow sewing and pottering and taking my time, which is great, but not when you're on a time crunch. So I need to go off and cook tea and sort the kids out and stuff. So when they're in bed, hopefully I'll have a little bit of time to come back to this and get it done. But if not, I'll finish it off in the morning. Make sure to leave a little gap between the two lines of stitching so you can fit your elastic through. I'm just having a quick try on. Please ignore my dress. I am so obsessed with this. It's so cute. I just need to add some elastic in the sleeves and then we're done. Oh, and I've got to hem it, obviously. And here it is, my Ganni inspired blouse is finished. I'm so pleased with how this turned out. This was probably about 4 hours of work and £2 from Vinted, and I've got myself a designer inspired top. Let me know what you think of how it turned out down in the comments. I must admit, when I first tried this on, I wasn't totally convinced that it's my style because it's very different to anything that I own, but the more I've worn it, the more it's grown on me. I absolutely love it. It's so, so cute, and I think I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of it this spring. If you fancy having a go at making one of these yourself, make sure to check out places like Vinted, the charity shops as well, or you can raid someone's wardrobe. I might raid my granddad's wardrobe at some point to make another one of these, but it was so quick and easy to do, and it's turned out really, really cute, so I'm really happy with the result. If you did enjoy this kind of refashion type vlog, please do let me know, and I will think of some more upcycling projects and get those filmed. But that's everything from me today because I've finished my blouse now. So I will see you in next week's video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. But have a great week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.